And can we put a spotlight on Sister Bernice Thompson?
Yes, Jehovah has been wonderful to me my whole life.
Wonderful. Did something happen within the past few years that was particularly encouraging?
Well, just last year, I think in June, my sister-in-law died, and being the only member of the family that was in the truth, I was asked to do all the funeral arrangements, which was quite a job for me. So of course, my circuit overseer helped me a lot. He called everyone in the circuit, announced about her death, and they were calling to encourage me. But the day of the funeral, the brothers had planned for it. The day of the funeral, I finally sit down and relax and realize what what was before me. And I said, here I am sitting all alone. Nobody offered to come and sit with me while the funeral is on Zoom. So I was feeling bad for myself. I shed a few tears. Just as the talk started, the brother on Zoom was giving the talk, my doorbell rang. It was my neighbor, a sister I had shared the truth with. Her TV went out. So she came over to ask me, could she sit with me? Well, of course, I was very delighted because that's what I needed. And so she did. But the funny thing about it is the next day in the Watchtower, we had the Watchtower study on continue appreciating the ransom. And Jehovah spanked me. He said, okay, I'll supply your needs, but he gave me a little spanking because in the Watchtower, about Jesus, how Jesus needed help when he was dying, it said this. I'm going to read just a paragraph. It says, when Jesus was thirsty, he asked for water. Of course, it was to fulfill the Bible, and it was also because he had a need. But this is what he said. It says, let us remember that our brothers and sisters love us and they want to help us in times of distress, but they cannot read our minds. They may not know that we need help unless we take the initiative to say something. So I laughed about it. I said, Jehovah not only answered my prayers, but then he gave me a little spanking, a little discipline to ask my brothers. So that's what I've been doing during the pandemic. And they're always so ready to help me. In fact, a lot of them thank me for getting them, to run errands and things for me. So the friends have really been helpful and I've really appreciated it. Jehovah's always there.
That is wonderful, especially in our congregation where we have so many I'm just going to say it, awesome older ones that have been serving Jehovah for decades and whatnot. And that's such a privilege to have that there as well there. So that is wonderful. And we appreciate all that you have done for decades as well, including special full-time work there as well. But I think you got another experience that goes back a little bit. Did Jehovah do something else for you there?
Yes, when I was working at a college, I had this student working for me and I would sometimes witness to her, but all of a sudden she stopped coming to work. She was supposed to go to school and after class, she'd come in the office and work with me and earn money that would help her stay in college. Well, I didn't see her, didn't know what would happen. So I asked some of her friends, what happened to Chanel? And sadly, they told me they thought she was pregnant and she was getting ready to leave school. So I rushed home on my lunch hour. In fact, they told me she was going for an abortion. So I rushed home on my lunch hour. Back during that time, looked like Jehovah had articles almost every other month about abortion. So I got about 3 or 4 watchtowers and awakes together. And I begged her, went to her room. I begged her to please read those articles before she made a decision. Well, she did read the articles, but she didn't tell me what she was going to do. And the next thing I knew, she had withdrawn from school. So I didn't know where she lived. She lived in the county of Allendale, which was not our territory. So I didn't know what had happened.
Well. So you didn't know what happened, and sorry that she had the abortion, but at least you tried. What else can you tell us?
Well,
Anything?
no.
No? Okay.
About a year later, a sister from the adjoining territory called me and asked me, did I know this lady? And I said, yes, she was a work study student of mine. I said, how do you know her? She said, well, I was doing witnessing in the laundromat early in the morning, and here she was with this cute little baby, and I played with the baby and I talked to her, and I was able to start a study. And I told her she had a beautiful family, and she told me she wouldn't have that family if it was not for a lady she met or knew, Miss Thompson in Denmark. And so she asked her, what does she mean? And she explained to her what happened. And those magazines, she said, saved her from destroying her baby. And of course, the sister called me to tell me about it, that she was now studying with this lady. And I was so pleased because I had been praying to Jehovah, please to find her, because I couldn't locate her living out in the country. And then I guess I forgot it, and it always bothered me.
Wow. So you saved a life. Did anything ever happen with that life?
Yes. About a few months later, I was able to meet this person. She didn't abort the baby. Now that person is serving Jehovah full time. He had been until recently. He got married, and I think he and his wife pioneered for a few years. But I think now he's working. I'm not sure if his wife is working. And he's like my grandson, and I'm very close to them.
That is so awesome. And then when you told me who it was and I looked into my contacts, I was like, wait a minute. I went on a study with, I know him. And I didn't even realize that he had that story. And, you know, the Pina family, most of us, like, I didn't know that they had those wonderful experiences. So we probably all have wonderful experiences that we don't even know. So we got to talk to each other more and find out what wonderful experiences we all have. So what lessons did that teach you?
Well, for one thing, it taught me that we're all working together. We're working with Jehovah. When one person comes into the truth, we've all had a share, because we can't say, this is my witness. No, they're Jehovah's witness. And if they're interested, Jehovah is going to see that they will receive the truth. So we're all witnesses working toward bringing people in the truth before the end comes. So we all have a part in it, and we can all rejoice whenever a person accepts Jehovah.
Absolutely. And another thing that it teaches me is something that you have always known. Yes, everybody's saying Thompson. Yes, this is my wonderful aunt, okay? The power of informal witnessing. When you get the opportunity to informal witness, don't say, I wish I would have left them in literature. Find a way to get literature to people and see. You just never know how Jehovah might bless us. So thank you all very, very much. And thank everyone. And may we all continue to praise Jehovah in all of the different ways there.